Hey guys, little worried about this class. I mean, there's a lot of work that hasn't been turned in. Now, I have gotten a few of the memos I asked for from last week, but the peer review didn't go very well because, like, nobody's turned in the memo. So, I guess I'm gonna have to declare a little bit of a moratorium on that. Well, that's a terrible word. Anyway, if you haven't turned in anything yet, please get in touch with me, especially if you're confused. So I want to work with you, and there's only like 4 people in this class, so guys, I don't have anything to do anyway. Just call me. Get in touch with me. I'm cool. So we left off on the memos. I've seen one good memo submission because, believe it or not, the memo stuff is not really that hard to do. They're very short. You just follow the basic guidelines with like how to formulate them. Because right now, all I'm really asking you to do is just follow the templates. I've asked you to kind of present to me an idea of a project you'd like to do. And if you remember the YouTube video before, it had to do with some type of industry. It had to do with a topic that you could engage with. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to move into business letters, and I'm going to give you a template of a business letter because that's what I want you to do by the end of this week. I want you to practice trying to write a sample business letter. Now, in order to help you guys out, I've decided to give you a topic for this one. You're going to end up writing 5 business letters for me over the course of the semester, but just to be safe, I'm going to actually give you something to write about. But before we get there, I'm going to just talk to you a little bit about formal and informal writing. And a lot of this is, again, coming from what was your textbook, English and Communications. All the writing in this class is going to be very formal, as opposed to my 1010 and 1101 classes where we can kind of go to formal, go to informal if we want for a little while, be creative. I have to grade everything you're doing in here like it's formal because this is a business writing course. So it might be a good idea to just explain to you what is formal writing so that if I keep conking you on the head, you're not being formal enough, you'll actually know what that means. Formal writing is business etiquette. It's very, it just looks fancy. It's nice. It doesn't have a lot of idiosyncrasies. It doesn't have a lot of like slang language. It's trying to appeal to as many people as it possibly can. It also needs to be grammatically correct. Well, we're dealing with short writing right now, so if I see any grammatical problems, I'll try to tutor you through it as best as I can. But the thing that's really important to keep in mind with formal writing is that this kind of throws students for a loop sometimes. It needs to actually be really what we call concise. It doesn't need to have a lot of really complicated language. It doesn't need to have like a lot of ornamentation to it. It needs to be straight to the point. It needs to be, right dead on. No fooling around. And honestly, you really shouldn't have any emotion with it. The emotion should be very dialed down. You really should be dealing mostly with facts and, just getting straight to the point. Again, the goal of this is to make your writing as absolutely understandable and relatable as you can get it. So if I say something to you about your writing needing to be more formal, that's what I'm talking about. Now, formality can also come from the templates that I've given you. Like, I've given you the template for the memo, and the memo is supposed to look a certain way. So if you've got like all sorts of weird stuff in it that, there's information over here where it's supposed to be over here, that's hurting your formality. You're not following format. You don't want a lot of pictures unless the pictures somehow pertain to what you're doing. You want to keep it to formal images. You want it to be graphs. You want it to be very on topic. So in all honesty, for the formality, what we're dealing with in here, it just needs to be very, very simple, straight to the point. Now, let's challenge you on this a little bit. Now, this is going to be a short YouTube lecture. Next week, I'm going to have something a little bit more substantial. Going to have a little bit more meat on its bones. But what I would love for you to do this week, and this is going to be an interesting exercise for multiple reasons. I'm going to give you a template of a business letter. It's going to be below this video. It's going to be in the discussion forum, and this is a discussion forum this time. So you're going to be doing this assignment. Everybody's going to be able to see it. So keep that in mind that this is public. So no cursing. But what I want you to do, I'm giving you the template down below. The template should be pretty straightforward. It's going to show you exactly the way a business letter should look, and this is coming to you from Purdue OWL. And Purdue OWL is pretty nice. I would recommend that if you guys are ever having trouble with writing stuff, go to Purdue OWL. It has a lot of really good information there. But I'm giving you a specific page from Purdue OWL about business letters. And it actually has a brief explanation of what the components of the business letter are. That's terrible subject-verb agreement. So I'm the English teacher. I get to make mistakes like that. So this is going to give you the components of it. It's also showing you how they should look. And honestly, it's just a letter. It has an address on it. It has a greeting. It has a body. And it has a conclusion and a closing. Now, just to help you out a little bit, it's very similar to a memo. You can honestly think about the business letter as like an expanded memo. And if you guys remember, I think the one submission I got for the memo only had like 4 or 5 sentences. That was fine. That's pretty typical for a memo. It's actually wrong to have really long memos. Memos aren't designed to do that. So a business letter is supposed to be a longer communication. It's supposed to be, following up on something. Now, I could let you guys go into your topics and write business letters pretending to be in your industry. Since I haven't had any memo submissions yet, except for one, I don't want to do that yet because I think some of you guys need some help, and I'm really hoping you get in touch with me, and I'm hoping you call me, you email me, because I want to help you out. But here's the specific assignment for this week, and I'll kind of write this out below the video. I'm including this link of what the business letter is supposed to look like. I want you to write a business letter. Now, you can make up your own address, or you can address it to a company. But here's what I want the business letter to be about. I want you to complain about something. Let's think for a minute about what the worst product is you ever bought. Now, this should be kind of sort of entertaining. Think about the worst product you have ever bought. Let me think if I can come up with an example. This is stupid, but just humor me for a moment. I once bought these wrestling action figures. Yeah, I know you guys have just like the respect for me up to here right now. Now, I was a kid. I bought these wrestling action figures, and they were supposed to be Bret the Hitman Hart and like Hulk Hogan. And when I opened them up, they weren't. They were from like one of those crappy dollar store things, and they were cheap knockoffs of the wrestlers, and I don't know, it just really upset me. So I want you to complain about a product, and I want you to write a letter to a company and complain about that product. But here's the challenge. I want you to keep it formal, concise, respectful. And this is going to be a challenge, and if you guys struggle with this for a little bit, that's okay. Again, that's why we're drafting. But some other examples of this could include, you guys ever eaten at a really bad restaurant? Something really bad happened at a particular restaurant, you probably remember it. That's a good one too, and then you can actually address it to that restaurant. Now, that would be a really cool component for this assignment. If you can, try to address it to the company that angered you. Try to, get their actual address. For, like, bonus points, even address it to someone who works at that company who is in a supervisory role. If this is a little too much for you, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal, but I'd love to see if you guys can find this information for yourselves. That's the assignment for this week. We're going to attempt a business letter. A business letter is a longer version of the memo, and it's formatted a little differently. Again, you're complaining about something, and we're going to talk about complaints more in a week or so. I'm actually thinking I'm going to move you guys ahead a little quicker than I thought because we've fallen behind with the memo submissions. That's pretty much all I want from you this week, and you're going to submit that to the discussion forum that this video is in. So just reply with your business letter to this video. Format it as best you can. That's pretty much it. So read the business letter article thing that I've included with it and get started. And again, guys, call me, email me. I want to help you. Like I said, I've only had one memo submission so far. You guys can do better than that. And I kind of am willing to admit that the way I've designed this course, the way I've set it up, may not have helped you very much. So I'm very much in a mood to help you and give you an extension if you need it. But you need to contact me, and we need to get this done, because that assignment last week, it was really short. I mean, seriously, the memo only had to be like 4 or 5 sentences. So this one's a little bit longer, but I've given you a specific context I want to work it in. So let's see what happens. Again, guys, feel free to call me if you need me. Hope you guys have a good day.